Okay, so today we're going to be drawing our face, but I know that there's a lot of fear when it comes to drawing portraits. There's a lot of attachments, so we're going with that awareness, with that resistance, with that fear into drawing our faces. And the first part of the exercise, you're going to do a blind contour drawing. So a blind contour drawing is when you are looking more at what you're drawing, which is your face in the mirror, versus looking down on your page. Okay, that's why you're blind. So you're not looking down on your page and you're not lifting your hand. So you're following the lines of your face like a little ant would walk on all the lines, all the folds, and you let your hand follow that. This is a great exercise to really become present to what is there and release what we think is there. Okay, so start on any place on your page. Start tracing your face without looking down. You can go as fast or as slow as you feel. Sometimes it's better to go a little bit slower because this exercise really helps us to learn how to draw what we're seeing and not what we imagine to be there. So you are following your lines of your face, all the details, and at some point you're going to have to make connections. You know, I started drawing my nose, now I need to get back to my eyes from my chin. So there's going to be some abstract lines in between. It's going to be a mess. So you can release completely the outcome and really just enjoy this exercise of drawing. I'm going to go quickly for the video's sake, but if you need to take your time, pause the video and do a slow blind contour drawing of your face. Alright, so just to show you what I've done, this is what it looks like. A mess, not really close together. I've been doing this a lot, so mine might have a little bit more form than yours. Second drawing, we're going to do just a contour drawing. That means you're allowed to look down onto your page, but don't get stuck now in drawing what you think is there and what you think your face should look like. So you can just start by, in just line, no shading, draw over this blind contour drawing of your face, a contour drawing of your face. And if the shapes don't make sense and you feel like you want to do multiples, like the first day where we're creating a network of lines to build up, we're now doing the same with our face. So you can do multiples of these until you feel satisfied. You can work with the drawing that was already there. So what I'm basically doing now is just to outline and highlight what is already there and kind of bring out the shape of the face. So you can do this as many times as you want. Here I have my first kind of network of lines. Okay, so now again we're going to be working with filling up this. So you can work either in paint or in crayons or whatever drawing tools you have. I'm going to be working in paint, and we're going to start with flat planes of color. So you're just coloring in with your paintbrush or with your tool, drawing tool, and you're creating sections that is interesting, colorful and flat, kind of pushing things to the background, covering some of the lines you don't want to use anymore, just adding to this drawing in any way that makes sense. So you can do this in the background, adding flat planes in the background, adding it in on the face. I often work with these flat planes in faces, creating kind of like built layers so that the shapes of the cheeks or the nose stand out a bit more. And all the while you are adding to this drawing, I want you to be very aware of how you are speaking to yourself. Are you judging yourself? Are you stuck and resistant to really explore and express? Are you a little bit more attached to the outcome now that it's something physical, now that it's your face? Right, so when you have a few flat planes of color like this, you can now continue on to the next prompt, which is to add wavy lines. Okay, so I love using this fan brush. It's a lovely tool. It's one of my favorites. And if you dip a fan brush only slightly into your paint, but like any other paintbrush, you can gently drag it over your page to create hair, to create contours, to create details. I'm going to show you now what this looks like. So you're going to add some wavy lines to your drawing. You can turn your drawing tool on its side and also drag it over the page to create interesting lines. Or you can contour them out one by one to create this effect that I'm going to show you now. Okay, wavy lines added. Next step is to add some texture. So we've worked with stipples and dashes before. Now you're going to employ them for this filling up the composition. So I'm just going to take a smaller brush with a thinner tip, and I'm going to start to add these stipples and dashes to any place in your composition, building up. Okay, so I'm going to work with the chin and curve them so that there is this feeling of movement and shape in the chin area. And what's lovely about art is you can always cover up. I'm working really quickly, but between the prompts I encourage you to pause and take your time. Kulain Strydom, my painting teacher, used to say that painting or drawing is as much sitting back and looking at what you're making as the act of drawing and painting itself. So sit back, take a moment to assess what is there, and then continue again. Right, so now I've added very quickly these dashes to the bottom of the chin. Now we're adding contour lines. So this is a lovely exercise to use for the chin or the nose, any area where you want to build up form that is protruding out of the face. Remember, it's like a mountain from the top. So you can find the shape of your nose and then kind of contour it all the way inward, creating the shape more clearly. And your face might become more real as you work on it. It might have very physical forms, or you might work in between the lines that you've created, this mess of lines, and create an abstract expression. And you can think of these prompts as kind of giving form to your organic, flowy, natural artist. So give her love while you are working on her, adding lines and details. Okay, so at the moment I'm aware of the limit that I have on the video. My nose is looking kind of like a piggy nose, and I'm going to sit after I finish this video and add to it and flesh it out. But the next thing that you can do is detail lines. So now you might have a lot of flat planes of color, different color. I'm definitely going to add more of those little areas of detail. You have wavy lines, you have your dashes, you have your contour lines. Now you go back and you add detail. Okay, so here's an example of a painting I started last night in my session. You can see that the eyes are kind of bulging, they're very strange. This painting needs detail lines now. I need to go back now and define the brows, define the lashes, define the lines under the eyes, define the chin area, put in some shadows. So this is what you're doing now, okay? You're adding details for the next 10 to 5 minutes. And then after you've done that, the last prompt is to create a symbol, your artistic symbol, and place it in your forehead, or there where the forehead would be. So that can be a spiral, that can be the all-seeing eye of inspiration, that can be a moon that represents cycles. Okay, so you add a symbol lastly. And then once you've built up your drawing, take a picture and please share it with me. I'm going to be sharing my art as I make it on the page for the for the challenge, so it would be on my website, and then I'd love to also see what you've made. Have a very inspiring day.